Well, you're not telling me the question.
I am.
I'm
saying that the cuts in corporation tax, the cuts in inheritance tax, the cuts in capital gains tax have been working with us to get the Employment Rights Bill forward.
Can you name a company, a few of them, that have welcomed these proposals?
Well, we've worked with many of the companies.
Angela Rayner's political career hangs by a thread after a disastrous interview with Andrew Neil.
I think that at the moment, cutting at a time where we need those services and people need those services is the wrong decision to
But
make.
I'm asking you, would you reverse the cut in corporation?
Guy journalist Beth Rigby has now put up this clip on social media. So I'm just wondering whether the Prime Minister would like to correct the record.
In just 30 minutes, she managed to contradict herself, make false claims, and expose a shocking lack of knowledge on key labor policies. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video, but it's what happened off camera that's truly alarming. Sources close to the Labour Party reveal the panic and chaos that ensued as Rayner's team scrambled to contain the damage. We've got the inside scoop on what really went down. Angela Rayner strode into the BBC studio exuding confidence.
Gains tax.
But what's really important, Andrew...
No, excuse me, I'm asking you a question. What's the cut in the capital gains tax?
They've cut the capital gains tax. No fun not having money. It's no fun if your fridge freezer breaks and you've got no means of replacing it, or your kids come home.
She'd prepared for this moment, ready to showcase Labour's vision to the nation. But little did she know she was about to face off against Andrew Neil, a journalist renowned for his razor-sharp questioning and unrelenting pursuit of the truth. As the cameras rolled, Neil kicked off with some softballs. Rayner handled these initial questions with apparent ease, her responses polished and rehearsed. She spoke of Labour's plans for economic growth and social reform, painting a picture of a party ready to lead.
They did that. They did that as part of the coalition government.
No, they raised the capital gains tax in the coalition government.
Well, what I'm saying, Andrew... For the lowest earners, banning exploitative zero-hour contracts and unpaid internships, ending fire and...
But Neil wasn't about to let her off that easily. As he began to dig deeper into Labour's policies, the cracks in Rayner's facade started to show. Her answers became less assured, more vague. When pressed on the specifics of Labour's economic strategy, she stumbled, offering contradictory statements that left viewers scratching their heads. The tension in the studio was palpable as Neil zeroed in on capital gains tax. It was clear Rayner hadn't anticipated this line of questioning. She fumbled for words, her earlier confidence evaporating under Neil's relentless scrutiny. Then came the moment that would dominate headlines for days to come. In a desperate attempt to regain control of the narrative, Rayner made a bold claim about Tory tax cuts. Neil, armed with facts and figures, immediately pounced. He swiftly and decisively refuted her statement, leaving Rayner floundering.
That's going into the economy. You know, you've not made it better. Our economy is worse as a result of 6 years of austerity. And now you're saying all of a sudden...
The Tories handed billions of pounds to their cronies with links to tax havens. We will ensure local businesses...
The atmosphere in the studio shifted dramatically. What had started as a showcase for Labour's vision had turned into a train wreck. Rayner's body language betrayed her discomfort as she struggled to recover from Neil's knockout blow. As the interview drew to a close, it was clear that Rayner had been caught woefully unprepared. Her performance raised serious questions about Labour's readiness to govern and their grasp on key policy issues. What should have been a platform to present Labour's strengths had instead exposed glaring weaknesses.
Within our means, we've got to have this austerity. We've got to cut. You've cut, and do you know what? Debt's rising, and the amount of money...
The last 183 years, the strength and the character of the people of my constituency has not changed.
The fallout from this disastrous interview would reverberate through the political landscape, leaving Labour scrambling to contain the damage and viewers wondering, if this is the best Labour has to offer, what does it say about the state of the opposition? Labour's damage control machine whirred into action, but the genie was already out of the bottle. As the party scrambled to salvage its reputation, an unexpected voice emerged from the chaos. Their take on the situation would send shockwaves through Westminster. The immediate aftermath of Angela Rayner's disastrous interview with Andrew Neil was nothing short of a social media firestorm. Clips of her fumbling responses and Neil's brutal takedown spread like wildfire across Twitter and Facebook. Users didn't hold back, with comments ranging from complete embarrassment to out of her depth flooding timelines. The public's discontent was palpable, and Labour found itself in the crosshairs of a digital mob. Political commentators were quick to join the fray, their criticisms cutting deep into the heart of Labour's competence. One particularly scathing remark stood out.
We can spend
No,
money.
hold on.
And that's wrong because you're spending it.
You're just
no,
off
no,
now.
No, I'm
let
not
me bring
just
you
off,
back
Andrew,
to
because
no.
it's
Let me
quite
bring you
serious, 'cause
back to
people
the
in Ashton
question.
underline-
Ever amount for sustainable food production in the UK, and it's alongside £60 million, Mr. Speaker, to support.
If this is the best that Labour's shadow front bench can offer at this time, then I despair. Totally out of her depth, too. This sentiment echoed across opinion pieces and talk shows, painting a grim picture of a party ill-equipped to challenge the current government. Behind closed doors, the Labour Party was in turmoil. Anonymous sources within the party revealed a growing sense of alarm over Rayner's apparent lack of understanding on fundamental policies. These whispers painted a picture of a leadership team struggling to maintain a united front in the face of mounting criticism. This interview disaster didn't occur in isolation. It fit into a troubling pattern of communication missteps that had plagued Labour in recent months. From mixed messages on economic policy to confused stances on social issues, the party seemed to be stumbling from one PR crisis to another. Rayner's performance only served to highlight these ongoing struggles. The potential impact on Labour's electoral prospects looked bleak. Polling data in the wake of the interview showed a noticeable dip in the party's popularity. Voters were left questioning whether Labour could truly offer a credible alternative to the current government. With each passing hour, the gap between Labour's aspirations and public perception seemed to widen. In the midst of this growing storm, Keir Starmer's response raised eyebrows. Rather than addressing the specific concerns raised by Rayner's performance, he offered a blanket statement of support. "She has my full support and my full confidence today and every day as we work together to take the Labour Party back." This unwavering backing in the face of such clear shortcomings left many questioning Starmer's judgment and ability to lead effectively. As the dust settled, a new narrative began to emerge. Whispers of discontent within Labour's ranks grew louder, with some calling for a major shakeup in leadership or a complete overhaul of the party's communication strategy. The question now hanging over Westminster was clear. Could Angela Rayner survive this political firestorm, or would Labour be forced to make drastic changes to salvage their credibility? Angela Rayner's interview with Andrew Neil exposed a troubling lack of policy knowledge and preparedness within Labour's upper echelons. The fallout was swift and severe, with social media ablaze and political commentators questioning the party's readiness to govern. Labour's internal crisis deepened as anonymous sources revealed growing concerns about leadership competence. This debacle raises a critical question. Can Labour recover from this blow to its credibility, or is a major leadership shakeup inevitable? The party's future hangs in the balance, with public trust eroding and calls for clearer, more coherent policies growing louder by the day.
Capital gains tax
You don't
to raise
cut-
more money.
You don't
So
cut taxes when you need that
How
money
much?
to help. You should be investing.
don't know, do you?
You should be investing.
You just-
We did that, so
Yeah.
so we do that, and we are ready. We've been working really hard since Keir took over as leader and me in deputy, and we've got Rachel as the.
What do you think Labour needs to do to regain the public's confidence? Is a change in leadership necessary, or can the party salvage its reputation through other means? Share your thoughts on Labour's path forward and what this means for the future of British politics.